Hello everyone, I am Denny Ben, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce at the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. I take statistics, and today we are going to learn about arithmetic mean. In today's lecture, we are going to cover the concept of average, concept of arithmetic mean, merits and demerits of arithmetic mean, and data representation technique. First, let's start with what is an average. An average is a single value within the range of data that represents the values of the series. Let's take this example. When we get our mark sheet, we get marks of different subjects separately. But when we are supposed to tell someone about our result, we use a single value, that is an aggregate value that can represent all the values, all the marks that we get in different subjects. Here we can see 58 marks is the average that we are going to use to represent the various marks that we obtain in different subjects. Average plays an important role here, that the student's intelligence, which is calculated or evaluated through different subjects but represented with a single value. There are many ways of calculating an average, in which arithmetic is one of the best techniques that we use, as it is simple and convenient for the people who are going to make use of it. There are many ways for averaging, but arithmetic mean is considered to be the most suitable and easier one for this purpose. Now, what is meant by arithmetic mean? In simple terms, it is the mathematical quotient that we get by dividing the sum of all the observations by the number of observations that we have. Here you can see it is represented by x bar. If we have 10 different marks of 10 different students, the arithmetic mean can be calculated by adding all the marks together and by dividing the total number of marks that we are having, that is by 10. X represents the attribute, that is marks, and the variables are denoted by x1, x2, x3, x4 like this. N is the total number of observations that we have. Next, when we talk about merits of arithmetic mean, when we talk about merits and demerits of arithmetic mean, it is simply a comparison that we make from the other methods that we are having. Let's begin with merits of arithmetic mean. You can see here rigid and definite. It means that arithmetic mean is calculated and bounded with some formulas and equations which are universally accepted and are similar for all the kinds of variables that we are having. Next, in comparison to median and mode, arithmetic mean is easy to calculate with less steps and easy equations. Arithmetic mean is considered to be the best way of analyzing, as it considers all the observations equally and gives the weightage to each and every item of it. This also makes it to be useful for the further algebraic treatment, like we can make use of the values or the results that we get from arithmetic mean can be further used for standard deviation, correlation, etc. Another merit is, like in other methods, we have to make a rearrangement of the data either in an increasing or a decreasing order, whereas in case of arithmetic mean there is no need of any rearrangement. When we talk about the demerits of arithmetic mean, there is always an impact of extreme values on the result of arithmetic mean. You can see here in this example, per day income of A, B and C is 10, 20 and 30. If we calculate the arithmetic mean of these values, you will get the value 20, which is considerably very close to these three values and a good representative for these values. Whereas if we add another D with a income of say rupees 500, the mean value becomes 140, which is not at all a very good representative for any of the four values, that is 10, 20, 30 or 40. This shows that the presence of this extreme value has created a problem in the result that we have received. The next disadvantage or demerit is it cannot be used for any graphical method. Neither we can do any calculation nor we can have any representation through a graphical method. As we have discussed earlier, arithmetic mean considers each and every value and gives an equal weightage. In case of any missing value or unknown value, it is not possible to calculate the arithmetic mean. That is again a disadvantage or a demerit for it. Next is, it is only suitable for quantitative values which are measurable. In case of qualitative facts like intelligence, honesty, we will not be able to calculate arithmetic mean. Even if we want to calculate the arithmetic mean for any qualitative value, it is required to convert it into some measurable form like marks or percentage. Next demerit is faulty conclusions. To understand this, let's take an example. Here we have net profit of two companies A and B for the past 3 years. We can see that company A is having a profit of 4,000, the next year it is 5,000, then it becomes 6,000. Whereas company B is having a profit of 6,000, then reduces to 5 and becomes 4. If we calculate the arithmetic mean of these two companies, the value will be rupees 5,000. That shows that both the companies are in similar condition. But actually the conclusion that we can draw from the movement of the data is that company A is progressing whereas the company B is declining. That means if we make any conclusion from the arithmetic mean, it may lead to a wrong conclusion if it is not used very carefully. The last one, arithmetic mean or the value of the arithmetic mean may not exist in the data set. In this example, we can see 5 is the arithmetic mean for 2, 4, 6 and 8, which actually does not exist in that data, but it is a part of it because it is within the range of that data. This is all about merits and demerits of arithmetic mean. Before we start with the different methods of calculating arithmetic mean, we need to understand the different methods of representing the data. Here we can see an example. The attributes are similar in all the three conditions, that is number of students and an exam with a maximum marks, but it can be represented in various ways depending on the condition. Let us start with individual series. Here 5 students appeared for an exam with maximum marks 100. As the number of students is very less and the marks are very high, there is a very little chance that the students may have a repetitive value. Here you can see A got 50, B got 65, C got 30, D got 25 and E got 90. Now if we want to represent this data, the best way is individual series, where each individual marks of the student can be shown separately. In the second condition, next is discrete series. Here you can see 100 students appeared for an exam with maximum marks 5. There is a high possibility that many of the students will get equal marks. In this situation, when the marks are repeating, we write them in the form of frequency. Here you can see 10 students have scored 1 mark, 30 students scored 2 marks, 20 students scored 3 marks, 15 students scored 4 marks and 25 students scored 5 marks. So when we are using the frequency for representing a particular data, that is called as discrete series. The third way of representation is grouped series. In this example, as we can see, 500 students appeared for an exam which is conducted with the maximum marks 50. Here it is impossible to take marks or students independently. In this condition, the best suited method is we will make class intervals. Class intervals for the marks, where we can make it as 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 or 40 to 50, and we will take the students who have secured within this range. Like you can see here, 70 students have scored between 0 to 10, 50 have scored between 10 to 20, 150 students have scored 20 to 30, 120 students scored 30 to 40 and 110 students scored between 40 to 50. Here we can see that with the change in number of students and maximum marks, there is a change in the representation of the data also, even with the same sort of attributes. I believe that you have understood the concepts now. In the next lecture, we will learn the methods of calculating arithmetic mean with various data sets. That's all for today. Thank you.